Okay, the truth is, a handful of people were the original creators, not only of the Christian religion, but also the authors of the New Testament and the history of that time. Their unique qualifications provided the power to achieve this goal. You've got to understand, there were frontmen that were used for the majority of the royals of the day. The royals had a great investment. They had to protect their line at any cost, their line of power. And they were heavily invested in helping each other to do that. So they had an allegiance, and they figured out that they had the same investment in creating a narrative that would allow them to manage the people. It's that simple. Royalty pre-existed. It had to continue. There was a great bond and connection between the royals that we don't understand. They shared a legitimacy to rule over the masses. Now, if you had that, would you let it go very easily? No. It was imperative for them to preserve that institution. And through consensus and planning, they didn't have a whole lot else to do. They were the grand conspirators. And it was all an inner working of family. When you see how it's connected, it will just blow your mind. Ancient royals put concepts out in written works, speeches, and concepts for the uninformed masses to believe, because they had total power over the written word. Over most people were illiterate, and they had every ability to pull this off. So they invented the gods for a higher power, which gave the royals the right to rule. So you see the connection with the gods. And they instilled fear in the people through the gods. The royals believed that they were chosen, and so that's one of the reasons why give unto Caesar was one of the main concepts, right? The royals could do as they pleased. It's no different than today, not one bit. If you believe the Warren Commission that was appointed to look and figure out what happened to JFK, you would believe that Constantine wanted a good, nice book for the Christians. It's BS. Royals could do as they please, and they did. This was a well thought out plan. Adam was royalty. Could people of royalty invent gods to achieve control over uninformed masses? Of course they could, and they did. Knowledge is power, and to keep the masses ignorant and superstitious was absolutely critical. The religion created around these gods created long and lasting wealth for the creators of the narrative. They had some great examples with Horus and Osiris. No one was writing at the time except the royals. There's no sense in even looking for other authors. And then when you figure out, based on process, Doug used a process of elimination and character profiling, and you can profile the words that somebody writes. Even in Lumosity, when I write, that they tell me what author I write like. And there's a cadence to a person's writing. So he figured it out, and other people have figured it out, but no one believes them. And the people who are in high places that understand have too much to lose to admit it. So it's been camouflaged only to be identified but by those with advanced knowledge of people, places, and events of the time. One way that I learned that helped me was because I do read a lot, and I read The Wonder of India, and then I read the Peloponnesian War somewhere right here, And both of those things confirmed what Doug had found about who's who, because they changed names like they changed underwear, which is part of the coding. So Abelard Rouchin tried to educate others, and so did Sir Ronald Syme. They were both onto the truth that the Piso, Roman Piso family, Calpurnius Arius Piso, and clan, Pliny the Younger was part of the family, and so was Constantine. And a lot of them by marriage, and they were inbred. So you have to understand that. But Sir Ronald Syme, one of the first people that figured it out, he studied at Oxford. He was a patriotic Brit. He served the British government. He was a fellow at Trinity College in Oxford from 29 to 49, a professor of classical philosophy. He taught at the University of Istanbul. He was a Camden professor of ancient text and a fellow at Brasenose College. His list of credentials goes on, and he's the one who figured it out first. I'm sorry, but it's just how it is, and it's wrong, and I can't stand it. So I'm going to continue to share the beaucoup of information that I have to back up my hypothesis that the Bible is a hoax. Thanks for being with me.